Hello everyone. Today we are making methi matar malai. For that you will need methi. You'll have to pick the leaves. Make sure there are no stems in them. Then you chop them finely. Okay. The next thing you need to do is to soak them. Now it is very important to work on methi before you add it to the gravy. Here I'm adding some salt and I'm soaking it so that all the bitterness of the methi is removed. Okay, I washed it before I put it in the water. So we start off by making the white gravy. We take some water, we put green elaichi, we put bay leaf, quartered onions, some cashew nuts. Ideally you should be using broken cashew nuts, a tukda, and you will add some char magas. Apart from this, you also put a green chili in the water for the entire mixture to boil and soften. The next thing we do is to cook the frozen peas. Okay, you cannot directly put the frozen peas into your food. Either you soak them in hot water for some time or you boil them for 2 to 3 minutes and then you put them under cold running water. So the color is also retained, they get cooked. Right? So while this mixture is being boiled, we will cook the methi. You will need some finely chopped green chilies. Now these look too many, but they are the light green variety, which is not very fiery or pungent. So, and you don't have to cook them much. You put them in hot oil, just saute them slightly, and then you put in the soaked methi. Right, now it is very important to cook this on a high flame. If you cook methi on a slow flame, what will happen is it will start giving out water. You do not want this mixture to boil. Now I actually removed all the excess water from the methi before I put it in this pan. Okay, I squeezed water out of it completely and then I put it in this. So make sure you use a high flame and a pan if possible, so that the wide surface area allows you to cook it evenly all throughout. And you have to make sure that this entire thing gets cooked and dries out. Okay, now like I told you earlier also, cooking methi is the most important in methi matar malai. If it is not cooked properly, there will be a lot of bitterness in your final product, which obviously you don't want. Okay, so you see this water coming out. Okay, I am trying to put this on a high flame, but in domestic flames you do not get that kind of intensity, but still it is on a high flame on a flat pan, heated up, so that I can cook it nicely. At the same time, make sure that the bitterness is completely removed. That is the most important. Always keep that in mind. Right? So I've been cooking this for a while now. Okay, you have to make sure that it completely gets cooked. The color does not change. The color also makes a lot of difference in your final product. So it's not just about blindly and haphazardly just cooking everything. You have to make sure the color is intact, the textures are right. Okay, so I've cooked this for a good 2 to 3 minutes on a high flame. So this is how it becomes dry, and then I add the boiled peas to it. You can use fresh if it's in season, otherwise frozen peas which are boiled for 2 to 3 minutes, and then you add it to the mixture. This again you cook. You have to make sure there is not enough moisture. It dries out completely before you add it to the white gravy. Okay, cook it well, make sure the color is intact. Okay, no adding salt or anything at this stage. It is just purely making sure that the methi and the matar is cooked. The green chilies are added to cut through the sweetness. The white gravies are basically called the shahi gravy. Okay, they're usually sweet in texture, the rich sweet variety. So if everything is sweet, obviously the palate will not accept it. So you have to put in something which will cut through the sweetness. So the slight pungency of the light green chilies will cut through it. Okay, so this is how it looks. The color is intact, everything is well cooked. We have tried to extract maximum moisture. And this is the mixture which is constantly boiling. You have to make sure that you know, the onions are softened, the other ingredients are softened completely. You put this in a mixing bowl and you remove the bay leaf and the green elaichi, because you don't want uh, the residue of this in your gravy. So once it cools, you blend it well. You can add some water if you want, if it does not become a fine paste. And this is the end result. Okay, so it's a fine paste which does not really change color. It has to be white. So now we'll start making the methi matar malai. For that you will need bay leaf, green elaichi, one slit green chili, some ginger garlic paste and some butter. We'll start off by heating some oil in a pan. Okay, then we'll add some butter to it and some bay leaf, green elaichi, and finally the ginger garlic paste. Right, you have to cook the ginger garlic paste on a slightly medium high flame to make sure that the rawness of the ginger garlic is completely removed, you know, because otherwise when you make ginger garlic paste, it has a very strong taste and aroma to it, which you do not want all throughout your gravy. You have to cook it slightly before you add anything else to it. Okay, now I'm not cooking too much, not cooking it for a very long time as such. Okay, I'll put in the ginger garlic here and then I'll saute it for like about 2 to 3 minutes. Right, first of all the moisture has to be removed. The important aspect, or the other reason why I'm doing this, is to make sure that you know, the rawness of ginger garlic paste is removed. Right, so this is now becoming frothy because of the butter that you add to it. Okay, oil never gives out such froth, good quality oil. And you're starting to brown now, so I don't want it to make it too brown, because I want the resultant final methi matar malai to be, you know, on the slightly on the white side. We don't want to lose the color of the white gravy. Right, so gently stirring it, medium high flame, you know, just smelling it every now and then to make sure that the rawness, the raw smell is gone, and then you add the white gravy. Okay, this white gravy is very versatile, but it is less used because, you know, most people don't like their food to be sweet, to be very rich. Once in a while, yes, but you know, you'd rather prefer a red or a brown or any other gravy which is slightly on the fiery side or and slightly has more masalas. Yeah, so we'll try and mix all the butter and all the khada masala that we have added to the pan with the white gravy. Now you have to make sure that you cook this mixture also well, because what we have just done is boil the onions and the kaju and the charmagas. Now the next step would be to cook it. Okay, how do you know it's cooked? So it starts boiling, it starts bubbling, and then after a point you will see some rogan on top. Rogan is nothing but the oil or the butter that you had added. It oozes out. Now the simplest test when you're sauteing onions and tomatoes and you're making a mixture and all that, the best way to find out whether your mixture is cooked is to see whether the oil is oozing out. Okay, after the ingredient has cooked, I mean, there's no further cooking left, so it starts giving out the oil that it has absorbed to, you know, to make sure that the cooking happens. Now you see that the mixture is now boiling, it's bubbling. Okay, keep clearing the sides, make sure, you know, keep moving the curry from the center to the side, make sure that everything is uniformly cooked, uniformly heated. Okay, now this is becoming thicker and thicker. You don't want your gravy to be very thick, so to thin it out you will add milk. Right, no water. Now you're making such a rich gravy. By adding water you're just diluting the richness. So what you do is you just add milk to it, not too much, not too less, but just to make sure that the gravy has the right consistency to coat a naan or a paratha that you would, you know, use to accompany this gravy. Okay, so you keep cooking it again. I mean, you don't want it to be too watery, too raw, too thick. Right, the spatula I find more convenient when I'm doing this, because it helps me clear off the sides of the pan. Okay, so now I will keep it aside on the flame itself, allow it to cook further, bubble, thicken, and then I will finally add the cooked methi, matar and green chili mixture. Right, now at this stage if you see that the gravy has not changed its color as such, it is still white. But because that you're adding so many green ingredients to it, it will have that slightly white and green tinge to it, which normally you have in your methi matar malai. Okay, it's a little on the thicker side still. So to adjust consistency, we'll only add milk to it. Ideally, warm milk, because what happens is if you're cooking something, if it's at its peak and it's cooking and it's hot and boiling, and suddenly you add cold water to it, the cooking stops for a while, and then again it starts. And also the taste, texture, the color may change because of that. So to avoid all that, you warm up your milk. Okay, you keep it aside. It doesn't have to be very hot, but it obviously should not be very cold. Similarly, for when you're making other gravy where you add some liquid to it, you have to add hot water to it, right? So at this stage, now I will add salt. Then I'll add some sugar. Now sugar quantity has to be a little on the higher side, but I'm still putting a little less because some people prefer it sweet, some people prefer it spicy. But the standard taste of methi matar malai is sweet. Okay, you add some cream to it for more richness, and finally some butter. Okay, once you add all this, you just mix it, you give it a boil, you check the consistency, you check the seasoning, and then you're ready to serve the dish. You can have this with naan, roti, and just enjoy the meal. I hope everybody tries this product at home. It's not very difficult, but only thing you have to keep in mind is to make sure that the bitterness of the methi is removed before you make this entire thing, because everybody knows cooking is an irreversible process. Once you add the bitter methi to the gravy, there is no way you can get it out or rectify it, or there's nothing that can be done. Either you eat it as it is and you ruin your day, or you make a nice gravy and make sure that people appreciate what you've done, right? So I think it's ready now. It's bubbling, it's boiling. I've checked the consistency, I've checked the taste, I've checked the seasoning. Now I'll transfer it to a bowl, garnish it with some cream, and it's ready to serve. Okay, this greenish whitish tinge is what makes it more appealing to the eye. And because it has so much of green in it, you cannot garnish this with coriander leaves. It has to be garnished with something which is more contrasting, like a cream which is whiter, right? So I'll garnish this with some cream, and we're ready to go. We're ready to serve. So I hope you all enjoy this, make this, and share this recipe. Thanks guys.